To kick in. Hi, my name's Ron. I'm a Bitcoin evangelist, a sovereign pleb, and a true wealth and health autodidact. Hashtag love all, serve others. Purchasing power explained. I'm going to show you where I'm at. Found me out in my office again. Instead of walking through the woods today, I'm going to walk on water. I by no means want to try to hold myself up as worthy of someone who could do that, but yeah, I'm walking on a creek right now. Beautiful day, the sun's high in the sky in February where I am, so even though it's pretty chilly out, there's not a lot of wind, and even though it's well below freezing, the sun can melt a lot of snow during the day, even though it's below freezing. But purchasing power is something that is very, very important, that I really truly believe that not really a lot of, the vast majority of people in the world don't quantify what that means. And it has something to do especially in relation to inflation, as a matter of fact. And with the last reports that the C.P.I, the Consumer Price Index, that is published by the Federal Reserve, I believe. I just, wow. I know you guys caught this live. I'll show you. I just went in the creek. So much for walking on water. I'm gonna keep this rolling. Yeah, I'm up to my waist in water there, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna walk a little bit closer to the shore there. Maybe cut the live video down a little shorter. That's working through your fears there, or this is. Legs getting kind of cold right now. That's all right. So where I was at was that few people really quantify what the inflation does to the purchasing power, because they don't. Let me put it this way: just 3% price inflation per year, an actual 3% price inflation per year. I did a little study on it a couple weeks ago, but in 2009, what you paid $1 for, that by 2021, at 3% price inflation per year, you'd need $1.52. No, it was $1.43. But with the recent C.P.I. reports, it was the highest in like 40 years, year over year, and I think it was 7.7% price inflation compared to a year ago. But it's one of the greatest misnomers in America that goes across every class of people, I believe, whether you're rich or poor, aristocracy, or what could be construed as elites, member of the elites. Many of them really kind of equate the C.P.I. as inflation, and it's not the inflation rate. I'm here to announce that as loud as I can, and I have been doing that on my channel for a while. The C.P.I. does not equal inflation. What they do is, in the C.P.I, they have thousands of things that they track, and they have several different indices, but in the reports that they choose to publish, they don't include the indices that relate to the final calculation that has to do with food, clothing, and shelter, or energy. Food, clothing, and energy, which is totally ridiculous. from one way of thinking. But so simply put, the CPI does not equal inflation. Nonetheless, it is a valuable index to have as part of your armor if you understand really what the CPI represents. So, having said that, I just encourage people to really quantify what inflation does to your purchasing power. That's the most important thing, or a foundational thing. Certainly an extremely important thing for us to be considering, especially in times like this where the inflation is higher than it has been, they say, for 40 years. Purchasing power. I took a look at gold. In August of 2011, it was at, I think they said it was an all-time high. You can put that into your browser. What was the price? And this is what I did. What was the price, the spot price of gold in August 2011? It was over $1,900. And there's so many people who say gold is a great, investment. Well, compared to what the spot price of it that I checked on yesterday, 1,855, gold over the course of, what is that, 12 from 2011 to 10, 11 and a half years. If I did a quick calculation correctly, say that 3 times fast, quick calculation correctly, that means that gold went from $1,900, so I think it was $1,915 down to $1,855, and that means that gold went down 3% over that time. And I also did a calculation that if you take the dollar, if dollars or price inflation went up just 3% during that time, that what an ounce of gold that you bought for $1,900 in August of 2011 would require $2,600 or thereabouts to buy today. So, but when compared to Bitcoin, in August of 2011, it was at about $13.09, and yesterday it was at $44,000 some. So Bitcoin has gone up 338,500%. And there's some people out there who say, don't buy Bitcoin because it's not a good store of value. It's too volatile. They say, don't buy Bitcoin. It's too volatile. It doesn't work well as a unit of exchange. Well, it's the highest performing asset by far in human history. So be careful who you listen to. And recently, as of 2021, Bitcoin has finally gotten into trillion-dollar corporate boardrooms, therefore, and thus announcing it to the entire world as a credible asset. It was deemed in 2014 as a property by the IRS. So, but as far as purchasing power is concerned, that's one thing that is so important. I have a question for you, and most people get this question wrong. And this is one way to look at purchasing power. And you have to make your choice or decision within 10 seconds, 5 seconds. But if I give you the choice today, you can have $5 million, or you can have a penny and then wait 30 days for that to double every single day. Which would you choose? Would you choose $5 million today, or a penny today, and wait to get paid after it doubles every day for 30 days, so wait a month? Well, most people get it wrong and they choose the $5 million today. But a penny doubled every day for 30 days is almost $11 million. It's $10,700,000 some. After just 10 days, it goes to $10. After another 10 days, or at the 20th day, it goes to 10,000. And that's when it gets really, really interesting. But by the 30th day, a penny doubled every day for 30 days is 10,700,000 something. So that is some great purchasing power. And the reason why I bring that up is to encourage you to do a thought experiment, because when we get understanding of our own money in the sense of our purchasing power, which is, as I mentioned, so important in a day and age where we are experiencing the most year over year expansion of prices, price inflation in like 40 years. It's much more important. It should be important any time in our lives, but because it is so important, those of us who understand that, in other words, what we've got to try to do if we are concerned about it and thinking about it and want to empower ourselves with our money, is one foundational thing: figure out the purchasing power. If the true rate of inflation per year is 15%, that means that something that you bought for $1 just 3 years ago, if it's 15%, that means 3 years time, it will require $1.52 to purchase that same thing that you bought for $1 just 3 years ago. So it's very important for us to, and more important for us in this day and age, to be really cognizant of that, to quantify that for our own pocketbook. So there was one other thing I was going to bring up as far as purchasing power, and I think it was basically the issue of, so those of us who quantify that, we empower ourselves to be thinking in a day and age where dollars are leaking 1% to 2% in our pocketbook every year. So many people are troubled about the present times, and they want to save their dollars and stack them up and put it into savings. Well, those dollars in that bank account, they're leaching 1% to 2% in value each month. So as we go and think, what can we do to gain an advantage? Well, basically, we've got to earn more than the rate of inflation to empower, a gain. That's why I brought up that issue about, gold being $1,900 11 years ago, but now, as of today, it's $1,855. But it's even really less than that, you could say, if you explain that you need more dollars today to buy that same amount of gold. So as we empower ourselves to do that, we look at other ways to gain investments. One thing that, or to gain higher percentages in our investments. And so here at the end of this video, I want to mention something that has to do with the DeFi industry, or the decentralized finance industry. It's an industry that was kind of a juggernaut spin-off off of the Bitcoin financial technology, Bitcoin being a computer protocol that resides on the internet. An easy way to explain it is, when the internet was born, the first application on the internet was email. Well, blockchain technology, the first application on it was Bitcoin. And with man's natural ability to innovate, what we've done is we've begun innovating layer 2 and layer 3 on top of that same financial internet protocol, and we employ or add new features. And that's a simple way to explain what the DeFi industry is. There's the innovation with smart contracts that are available now, but the DeFi industry in 2018 had $1 billion total value locked, or TVL, where people put money on there and then they hand over custody of the cryptocurrencies. It's very much the same way as if you put money in the bank. You hand over the custody of that and to someone else. So that's also known as third-party risk. But in the DeFi industry in 2018, it was only $1 billion that was locked in there. And by September of 2021, what's that, like 3 years later, it went over, for a brief time, it went over $100 billion total value locked. And people are able to attain as well, they're getting, this is not a misspeak, they're getting thousands of percent annual percentage yield per year. Commonly, there are relatively low risk opportunities that are gaining 50% to 100% uh, annual percentage yield. And very easily 10 to 14%. I just talked to a guy today who's getting 13% annual percentage yield for some of the cryptocurrency that he otherwise would just be letting sit there. So he's getting paid back in the same cryptocurrency that he's staking, 14% per year. So there's some power there. There's some great power there. Just my leg is getting, it's fine now. I mean, I went up to almost to my waist in water here. That's what I love about just going out into nature. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to find. I haven't walked on a creek for a couple of years. I thought I'd be fine because it's been so cold up here in the neighborhood where I'm at. But it's happened to me once before where I went through the ice. And when that happened, I remember it was like 15 degrees below zero. So I went lickety split to go get warm. But I'm just a short ways away from my car, so we're going to be fine. Thank you so much for listening to me. I just really want to encourage you to really think about purchasing power as really a fundamental and foundational empowerment notion, something for us to be, that will really empower us to then, because of the thought experiments, be able to really get some passive income or to grow the money that we have. So hashtag love all serve others. I wish you well. I wish you wealth. I wish you health. And until next time, peace.